last time you were on the pod, you said that scoring 30 in the NBA was, hold on.
I know
you said scoring 30 in the NBA was way easier than scoring in Europe. And a lot of people have co-signed that. I'm not here to dispute that take at all. The other night you had 73 against the Hawks. And I'm going to be honest with you. I've rewatched the 25 made baskets like 5 times. And to some degree, it did look easy. Did that 73 feel easy?
Oh, no.
No,
definitely not. I mean, everybody say my game looks easy. It's not easy. Trust me. But when I said that, a lot of people didn't agree with me. It was like 2-3 years ago.
Yeah.
I think now they're starting to agree more and more. But I always say it's because of the rules. Last minutes, the 3 seconds in the paint in defense is huge. I don't think people realize how huge that is. Because, when I'm ISOing, I watch the defender in the paint. So he got to go out at some point. So when he's going out, I try to attack. So that's a huge difference. But no, it wasn't easy scoring 73.
You brought that up last time. That low man, as he's trying to cleanse himself, the weak side guy, right? Generally speaking, he's not going to be on the ball side. But that weak side guy, as he's trying to cleanse himself, watching him. And I was watching some film of LeBron the other day. He does a really good job with that too. I do want to ask more about the 73-point game, but since you brought it up and the rules.
You brought it up.
No. You brought up the rules. You brought up the rules. And I'm curious, because one of the things you mentioned last time was the physicality in Europe. It wasn't just the rules. It was kind of how those in Europe, the referees allow a little bit more. Flopping is generally not given to the offensive player. Do you think, and I don't know how familiar you are with like the 90s era hand checking. Do you think hand checking would have an impediment on offenses? Like, would it matter?
What do you mean, like hand checking?
The ability to just like...
I'm not American, so
okay, no.
Explain a little bit.
The rule was you couldn't like keep your hand on someone, but you could sort of put your hand on, put your hand off, put your hand on, put your hand off. So as somebody's sort of attacking only in the scoring area, not necessarily all over the floor.
You can still do that.
I agree.
Oh, yeah, 100%.
I agree. My argument right now is bring back hand checking. You know what hand checking is going to do? It's going to lead to more shooting fouls.
Yeah, 100%.
Because offensive players are so smart now. The second I was calling a game the other night with Kevin Durant, and Mikal Bridges was D'ing up, legally had his hands on him, and once he put his hand out and Kevin could get into a shooting motion, he just went into a shooting motion.
I mean, the amount of offensive talent there's in the league right now is just insane. I don't think people really realize it, how much talent offensively there is. And then again, you have some really great defensive players that, like yesterday I really have to give credit to Claxton. He's a 5 and he was even picking me full court. He was really guarding me good. So, you have a lot of great defensive players too. It's
interesting from my vantage point because I get to call games. I'm calling a game later tonight, actually. That's why I'm dressed like this. But from my vantage point, when I watch games on TV, there's a feeling of not necessarily non-physicality, but you don't quite capture it. When you're sitting up close, when I call a game looks more physical. It just does. And so the other thing, there's a clip in the second half. You're driving, and there's 2 defenders. One guy's like kind of at the nail, and one guy's kind of helping in off the wing, and you do the low pull through. And initially, they didn't call it a good basket. You make the shot. They eventually reversed it, and you got the and one. But that move is another move where like James Harden was the first kind of to do it. I think with spacing and with talent, I don't think hand checking is going to have that big of a difference. To your point about the defensive 3 seconds, I think that would.
Oh, that would 100%. But the hand checking, like you said, I don't think so. Because that one, they started to stop calling that a lot now. I mean, for me. The low pull through. Yeah. I think they stopped more and more. They're stopping calling that.
Well, the other thing is I was going to say is when I watch you play a lot out of like a split stance. Do you know what I mean by that? Like when you're up top in ISO, you play it out of a split stance. And a lot of times you use that left to right dribble between the legs to attack the top leg and get to your right hand. I would say, what do you think it is? Half the time, more than half the time, somebody puts their hands on you immediately as soon as you go to that move. And it's rarely called. You get it sometimes, but it's rarely called.
Yeah, but yeah, I do that a lot. It's just, my step back to the left. But, I mean, I just take what defense gives me. They send me left, I'll go left. They send me right, I'll go right. Like, I think I have a couple moves in me. I'm trying to do the sham god in one.
You're trying to bring out the sham god?
That's good. They'll probably steal it right after I do this.
Going back to that 73-point game, you use this a lot. And when we called opening night in San Antonio, you had one of the best decelerations that I've seen. A bunch of guys are doing this now. It's become so important on drives, right? To be able to decel, let the defense fly by, or draw a foul. You had 2 against Atlanta off the right leg, bank shot. How did you sort of develop that part of your game? Because I'm curious. I watched you work out when I was your teammate. You go at a certain speed in your workouts, but the full speed to the decel, how much are you practicing that? When did you develop that?
I didn't practice that. That's just,
You're a sick fuck.
I just call it the slow step, I remember one day I tried to teach Dodo.
You tried to teach Dorian Finney-Smith?
Yeah. I say, you just got to do the slow step, you got to go into defender a little bit, and then just slow step. Wait till he's going to jump. And if he don't jump, you just go up. So I don't know. Maybe it's the IQ. I don't know. But I never really practiced that one.
You don't practice that? All right.
Not that one.
It's just a natural thing, which is why I'm so jealous of you, I think. It's just your ability to just do things on the fly. You and Joel are like the 2 guys that I played with.
Why are you jealous?
Because I could never do that. I don't have the gift. I remember one time I was working out and my trainer tried to, it was a very specific gather to a euro, and I did it like 12 times.
Is there a video?
No, there's no video because I'd never had cameras in the gym.
I don't have either.
I know you don't. But
a lot of people do.
At some point, I was just like, "Fuck it, dude. We're not doing this. I'm going to use this twice in a
Yeah,
game."
I mean, you do the things you're good at.
Yeah. By the way, you went into that Atlanta game. I think you still are, but you're the most blitzed player in the NBA. Atlanta blitzes the most in the NBA. They only blitzed you 8 times the entire game, 3 of which came in the last 5 minutes, and only twice in the first half when you had 41. When teams aren't blitzing you, because it's a night-to-night occurrence that you get multiple blitzes. When teams aren't blitzing you, what is your sort of mindset around scoring versus playmaking?
I think when they don't blitz, it depends. If they play like, we call it channel 1, if the big is just in the drop, there's a lot of playmaking there. The clap and the old Gortat screen, it's efficient. But then if they switch, I'm just trying to go downhill. I know there's going to be always a low man. Sometimes I just stagger a little bit on the threes, on the step backs. But I got to be more downhill because, I can get downhill a lot. And when we touch the paint, when I touch the paint, I think our team is best at scoring.
You brought up the Gortat screen. I'm going to explain this Gortat screen. So the big is in a drop.
Yep.
All right. You turn the corner on the pick.
Yes.
Your defender's behind you.
Yeah.
The roller, you put him in jail. The roller, then instead of rolling to the basket, rolls into the defender in drop coverage and essentially sets a little brush screen. And sometimes they will fully set the screen.
Yeah.
First basket of the Atlanta game, Derek Lively did that on Capella.
We still got to work with Derek Lively on that one.
You still got to work with him on that one?
Yeah.
Who's have you played pick and roll with in Dallas that has done that well?
Dwight Powell, Maxey. Those 2. I think those 2. Holmes did it a couple times. But before, who I played with?
You got to get Derek. You got to get Derek. Kristaps really wasn't doing it because he wasn't.
No, he was before. He was popping.
Yeah. You got to get Derek doing that more.
Yeah.
Especially against.
He's 19. He's got a lot of way to learn.